Good evening, all of you. So today we are going to talk on ligand-based drug design. Okay. So in last few lectures we discussed about computer-aided drug design and first type of that process or technique by which you can design a drug, that is structure-based drug design. Right. Now the next type of that process is the ligand based drug design, which is an indirect approach, right? So this ligand based drug design, or you can also call it as an indirect drug design, that process is completely relies on a knowledge of other molecules, right? So that binds to the biological target of interest, means you have to completely dependent on the knowledge of other molecules which binds to that target, okay, like your ligand you can say. So that molecule may be your antibodies, hormones, like that, right? So before starting this ligand based drug design, you should know what is actually a ligand, right? So this ligand is any molecule or atom or ion also that bonded to essential metallite atom to form a coordination complex, okay? Or we can also say it is any molecule or atom which binds reversibly a protein or a molecule which is an like as I told you, antibody, it can be hormones or any drugs which binds to that receptor. So that is called as a ligand, okay? Now we'll see about the ligand based drug design, okay? So as I told you, in case of structure based drug design, we know the structure of the target protein, right? Means we have known the 3D structure of target protein. But in the case of ligand based drug design, 3D structure of target protein is not known, but the ligands which binds to that desired target is known, right? So आपल्याला ज्याच्यावरती डिपेंडंट राहायचे, like as I told you की in case of LBDD, right, that is ligand based drug design, we have to reliable or we have to dependent on the knowledge of other molecule. That molecule is a ligand, right? So in case of LBDD, we know about the ligand but we don't know about the target protein, okay? So the most popular approaches for ligand is a pharmacophore modeling. We will see about it. So in case of ligand based drug design, we assume the composition or compound which has similarity in structure and also have some biological action, and you can say interaction with the target protein, so that this ligand based drug design is used to elucidate the relationship of that compound structure and physicochemical properties to its biological activity, okay? That means the resulting structure activity relationship, and then it which is act as a basis for the prediction of compound, they improve their biological activity. So it's all that is about the ligand based. So that is the general outline about the ligand based drug design, okay? In this case, as I told you, there is a relationship between a structure and activity, right? So that is called as a QSAR, means quantitative structure activity relationship. So in that what happened, there is a correlation between calculated properties of a molecule and their experimentally determined biological activity that may be derived, okay? That means this QSR is the relationship. In turn, it may be used to predict the activity of new analogs, right? So here you can see this is the flow chart for ligand based drug design. So in this case you can see there are 4 different categories, right? First one, that is a QSR, which is very important, and that stands for quantitative structure activity relationship. We'll see about it furtherwards. But before that, this QSR, then scaffold hopping, pharmacophore approach and pseudo receptor, these are the 4 different things which are under a ligand based drug design, okay? So this QSAR is divided into 2 categories, 2D and 3D. So this 3D, which is again subdivided into 2 groups, COMFA and COMSIA, okay? So what it stands for, that I will tell you. COMFA means it is a comparative molecular field analysis, right? And this COMSIA is the means that is a contour map, which is like then it is undergoes about the 3D descriptor, okay? D is for descriptor. So now descriptor, why we need these descriptors, or why we need actually QSR? Because there are, by using this QSR or this relationship, we can synthesize small number of compounds and from their data derived rules to predict the biological activity of other compounds. That's why we need a QSR. Okay, so if you need a QSR, it requires some data also. So what is the source of data of that QSR? So all analogs belongs to conjugate series. Then they have the same mechanism of action, they bind a similar fashion, right? So these are the data for QSR. Now why we need a descriptor, okay? So to relate structure to activity, right? That is your QSR. You, in case of a QSR, or you can say a ligand based drug design, you have to understand what is actually a QSR. So that is the general correlation, you can say, or relationship between structure and activity, you can simply say, right? So it relates the structure to activity, okay? So these descriptors, they act as an independent variable, okay? They describe different aspects of molecule also, and they compare different molecular structures. I am talking about the need of descriptor, why we need descriptors in case of ligand based drug design, okay? So they give us data, right? So they describe different aspects of molecules, they compare different molecular structures, and also they compare different conformations of a same molecule. So for that we need a descriptors, okay? So this so there is a widely used technique. So this QSR is a widely used technique in case of drug designing process. I hope you guys understand what is actually a QSAR, okay? So basically there is, that is only a relationship between the structure and activity. Now we'll go for 2D QSR, okay? So before that there is a like you can say as I told you, there is a, in case of structure based drug design, there is a lead optimization process which is very important. Now if you are talking about the typical workflow of this QSR studies, so for that you need, first of all, for any process you need a data, right? So data selection, then descriptor evaluation. As I told you, why we need descriptor, so for that purpose you need a descriptor. Then training and test set selection, then variable selection, statistical evaluation, model interpretation, lastly you'll get a lead identification and modification, okay? So this 2D QSR is a type of QSR, like it has 1D QSR, 2D, 3D, 4D, 5D, 6D, right? But in our syllabus there is a 2D and 3D are there, okay? So 2D QSR first we'll see. So this was widely used to link structural property descriptors like your hydrophobicity. Hydrophobicity means something which have a phobia of water, right? Then steric, electrostatic, in geometric effects to molecular biological activity. Means you can simply say it is used to link structural property descriptors to molecular biological activity. Means in QSR there is the relationship between structure and activity of different molecules, that you have to remember. Means any type there is a structure and activity relationship. So the results were often analyzed with multiple regression analysis. One of the most commonly used 2D QSR method was proposed by Hansch, okay? He was a scientist. He proposed the method, okay? So it cannot accurately describe the correlation between 3D spatial arrangement of the physico-chemical properties and the biological activity. So these 3D QSR approaches have been adapted. Means in any techniques they are not able to fulfill all the like you can say they have some drawbacks, right? So they are not capable to explain about everything, right? So for that we need a new version. So after 2D there is a 3D QSR. We'll see about it. So in short you can say under 2D QSR there is a correlating activity with the structural patterns like you can say connectivities, indices, then 2D pharmacophore, means without taking into account the 3D representation of these properties, okay? So that is not that much important, but you just have to remember in 2D QSR there is a link between structural property descriptors. मध्ये descriptor कोणते कोणते असू शकतात that has given, okay, and to molecular biological activity, and who has proposed this, that you have to remember, okay? Now 3D QSR. So this is frequently applied there are some frequently applied 3D QSR methodologies which I have already talked about. First one, that is a COMFA, which stands for Comparative Molecular Field Analysis, and the COMSIA, that is Comparative Molecular Similarity Indices Analysis. Okay, these two methodologies are come under the 3D QSR. Okay. So this 3D QSR, firstly we'll see about 3D QSR, then we'll go to the methodologies. Okay, so 3D QSR it refers to the application of force field calculations requiring three-dimensional structure. So basically, in case of ligand based drug design, we have to know about the ligand molecule, right? Because we don't know about the structure of that biological target. So we have to calculate the requirements, or you can say 3D structure. For example, you can say based on protein crystallography or molecular superimposition, means it examines basically 3D QSR. Why it is more sophisticated than your 2D? Because it examines the steric fields, like it examines shape. Steric means shape, right? So it you can say it examines the shape of the molecule, then hydrophobic regions, means water soluble or water insoluble regions can be find out, and the electrostatic fields. Then alignment dependent it is, and it can predict the interaction potential of molecules under the study. Okay, so that is about the 3D QSR. Now the methodologies of this 3D QSR. First one, that is a comparative molecular field analysis. So this methodology was first established on the concept that biological activity of a molecule is dependent of the surrounding molecular field. Okay, means what? जी काय biological activity आहे त्या moleculeची, that is dependent on the surrounding molecular field. So molecular field, it may be like your steric effect, then electrostatic field, like you can say a structure, shape of the molecule, or electrostatic fields. Means they were calculated by this methodology COMFA, which using Lennard-Jones potential and Coulombic potential. Okay, so this method has been widely adopted, and it has several problems also, like both potential functions changes dramatically near the van der Waals surface. So these are the types of interactions which are happen when there is a relationship between different molecules. You already you have know about it, right? So in addition, you can say the alignment of ligands must be conducted before energy calculation, but the orientation of the superimposed molecules is correlative to the calculation grid. Okay, means it could cause large changes in COMFA results, right? So moreover, in order to examine both fields in the same analysis, there is a scaling factor needs to be added to the steric effect. So basically in this methodology you can say ki there is a why this concept is established, because the biological activity of molecule, they said that the biological activity of molecule is completely dependent on the surrounding molecular fields. मग surrounding molecule कोणत्या टाईपचा आहे, which type of a shape it has, or electrostatic field. On the basis of that they establish this concept. Okay, so that is a COMFA. Then next one, that is a comparative molecular similarity index analysis, which is a method developed recently as an extension of your COMFA. Okay, means it includes more additional field properties. They are like your steric, electrostatic, hydrophobic, then hydrogen bond donor, and also hydrogen bond acceptor. Okay, so this is very insensitive to the orientation of the aligned molecules and correlates to the grid by using some Gaussian functions. Okay, means the improved functions like your algorithms, at least influenced by the relative distances to the van der Waals surfaces. Means as compared to your COMFA, it has more methods which are included into it. Means overall this model can offer a more accurate structure activity relationship than your COMFA. Because why? Because it is a type of QSR, right? QSR means what? There is a relationship between structure and activity. So this methodology or this method is more precisely, you can say, or more effectively can explain about the structural and activity relationship than your COMFA, which is a type of 3D. Okay, so that is about the QSR. So it has some advantages, that method, like the results, whatever results we have obtained by QSR, it is used to help understand the interaction between the functional groups, then leading to the synthesis of then interpretation is readily justified. Okay, so these are the advantages of QSR. It also has some disadvantages like false correlation. Okay, various physicochemical parameters are known to be cross correlated. So these are the disadvantages of QSAR. Okay, this part is not in your syllabus, that's why we are not going to go in more detail about the other parts of ligand based drug design. Our next point will be pharmacophore. Okay, so what do you know about pharmacophore? Pharma means what? Like also we discussed about docking process, right? So that is also very important for your exam point of view. So you should know everything about molecular docking, like types of docking process, why we need docking, how it works. Okay, dock means what?